How can microscopic marine algae be the answer for most of our human health issues? Yes, they provide food for a lot of the marine animals, but can they be the superfood that we are looking for? Today, I'm going to be finding out the answer in detail just for you. I'm going to be talking about phytoplanktons. That's right. What is that? That's exactly what I'm going to go through in this episode. What is phytoplankton? What are the 5 health benefits it can help us with? And then I'm going to go into how you can include it in your diet to live an optimal life. Let's get into it. It's Mondays with Mihaela. That's right, me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love, and appreciate your support, like always. For any of you who don't know me, my name is Mihaela. I'm a qualified naturopath. I'm here on Mondays to provide you with simple, savvy, sustainable health hacks. And this is part of the Natural Health Podcast, the Monday segment. If you haven't heard about the Natural Health Podcast, jump on it. I have so many different segments on there available for you to listen. Anyway, let's get into today's topic, right? Who would have thought that this tiny microscopic marine algae can be the answer for our health issues, for your health issues, for my health issues? When I kept reading about this and when I read about it more, I was like mind blown. I was like, what? This is unheard of. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, we live on Earth, and for us to find the answers in the sea for our health issues, this is absolutely amazing. This is amazing, right? So what I want you to know is marine compounds have been shown to have a significant activity in antiviral, analgesic, antitumor, immune-modulating, and anti-inflammatory effects, right? Currently, 6 out of the 9 drugs in the market for cancer treatment are of marine origin, while more are under clinical trials. So we're already using it, but we're just unaware of it, right? So the thing is, a team of European botanists, doctors, and microbiologists discovered an incredible strain of marine phytoplankton that's said to hold the greatest nutritional value for human consumption. Okay, the strain is called, I'm going to try and say it, it's called NANNOCHLOROPSIS GADITANA, right? That's what it's called, and it's pretty mind-blowing how such a tiny organisms it's smaller than a blood cell, right? And it has so many health benefits. But that's just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be talking about, phytoplanktons, right? But I want you to know what they are in a little bit more detail. So that is what I'm going to talk about now, is what is a phytoplankton? What is a phytoplankton? Let's get into it, right? So when we look at the word phytoplankton, it derives from a Greek. So phyto meaning plant and planktos meaning wandering. So it's a wandering plant. So you can just imagine in the sea, in the marine, it's wandering around. It's a wandering little plant. The interesting thing is that phytoplankton's history goes back more than 3 billion years. That is 3 billion years. I can't even imagine that. That is ages ago, right? Phytoplanktons are microscopic, single-celled organisms that live in water environments, both salty and fresh. So they're single-celled, they're absolutely tiny, you need a microscope to see them, and they photosynthesize. So what that means is they manufacture their own food using energy from sunlight, and then they produce oxygen. So how smart are they, right? They go to the surface of the ocean, let's say, for example, so they're able to get the sunlight. That's their food, and then provide oxygen. But providing oxygen, we'll go into it soon, what that means for us humans. So, like land plants, phytoplanktons have chlorophyll to capture sunlight, and they use photosynthesis to turn it into chemical energy. They consume carbon dioxide and release oxygen. What a smart little plant. Their growth totally depends on the availability of carbon dioxide. sunlight and other nutrients. So if we have less sunlight, if we have less carbon dioxide, less nutrients, their growth doesn't go to the maturity that it could eventually go into. So their lifespan is actually no more than just a few days, to put that in there. So unfortunately, they only have a short life, but they do a lot for the marine biology, the marine environment, the life cycle in our oceans, in our waters. So other factors that influence their growth rates include water temperature, the saltiness, the water depth, wind, and what kind of predators are grazing on them. So there's so many things to take in consideration for them to have an optimal environment to live in. So they actually generate about half of the atmosphere's oxygen as much per year as land plants. That is amazing. So the oxygen that we're breathing now, we can actually say, hey, thanks phytoplankton for providing me with that oxygen. So more than half of the oxygen you breathe comes from marine photosynthesis and beings like phytoplankton and seaweed. That is, to me, crazy. When I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just absolutely amazing. So essentially, phytoplanktons are the foundation of the aquatic food web, right? So they're the primary producers, feeding everything from microscopic animal-like zooplanktons to multi-ton whales. Small fish and invertebrates also graze on plant-like organisms, and those smaller animals are eaten by bigger ones, right? So essentially, they are in the middle, they're at the foundations of the food web in our oceans, right? But it sounds amazing, right? But there's also a downside of phytoplanktons. What actually can happen is they can also be the cause of death and disease in the oceans. So anything good can also be bad. Where there's black, there's white. Where there's sun, there's the moon. So certain species of phytoplanktons produce powerful biotoxins, making them responsible for the so-called red tide or harmful algae blooms. You would have probably heard about that if you're into the ocean and marine. I am, so I've heard about it before. Absolutely, it's crazy. Google red tides and you'll see it. Some are red, some are blue, some are white. They're different colors, but it's essentially very toxic. And what you'll see sometimes is a lot of fish coming, dead fish, unfortunately, coming to the coastlines, and that could be because of phytoplanktons, because of the red tide. All right, I'll put a picture up here for you guys to get a better picture of it, right? So this is the microbial loop. We have the carbon dioxide coming in, and then there's the phytoplanktons. They take in the carbon dioxide and they produce the oxygen. So they are at the start of the loop. Look at that. They feed it all up, which then essentially gives us, which then brings back the carbon dioxide. It's amazing to see that happening, to see that how our oceans, our marines work. So that is to kind of give you a little bit of a picture of what a phytoplankton is. Now you know that it's a tiny organism in the ocean, in either salty or fresh water, and it provides oxygen. Take carbon dioxide, it needs the sunlight to give itself energy and provides oxygen. And a lot of the animals feed off it, being the foundations of the food web, which means they're filled with nutrients, aren't they? Let's look into the next thing I want to be talking about is the 5 health benefits of phytoplanktons. All right, so what are they? What are they filled with nutrients wise, right? I want to find out if I got a phytoplankton in front of me, right, and I looked into it, what type of nutrients would that be giving me, right? Okay, I was amazed. I'm just going to name a few that I found, right? Selenium, iron, iodine, magnesium, DHA-EPA, which is the omega-3s, all different types of B vitamins, protein, chlorophyll, vitamin C, vitamin A, astaxanthin, zeaxanthin, canthaxanthin, which are derivatives of vitamin A. These are just some of the things that you can find in phytoplanktons. However, like I said, every phytoplankton depends on the sunlight, nutrients, the saltness of the water, and so forth that we spoke about. But this is a general thing that would be in most of them. So, what health benefits can it have for you, for me, for us humans? The number one health benefit that we are all looking for, that we all want to be on point, is our brain. Brain health. That's right. These phytoplanktons help with our brain health. They are one of the best vegan sources of EPA and DHA available, because most of them you get from the fish, right? Being first on the food chain, all fish and many other aquatic creatures like krill get their EPA and DHA from phytoplanktons, right? They consume as a food. So some individuals that are taking the fish oil, they're taking the fish oil to get their EPA and DHA on point, to get their brain on point. But that fish is getting their EPA and DHA from the phytoplankton, the foundations. So both EPA and DHA are both essential omega-3 fatty acids derived from alpha lipoic fatty acids, and they're essential because we need to get them from our diet. We need to get them from the diet that we eat, because our body does not manufacture it, does not make it, right? So DHA plays a vital role in the functioning of the human brain, eyes, heart, reproductive glands, nervous system, as well as our hormones. So you can see that this is not just helping our brain, this is helping our heart, our eyes, our reproductive system, our nervous system, and our hormones. So because of our brains are mostly composed about fat, and that's about 60%, 97% of the fatty acid components that make up our brain are DHA and EPA, right? So our brain's about a 60% fat. From that 60%, nearly 100%, which is 97%, is made from EPA and DHA. DHA provide nutrients needed for proper neurological function and need to be replenished on a regular basis through diet. So this is where it's saying that our body cannot make it. So we need to regularly have an intake of EPA and DHA to ensure that we're getting the benefits for the brain health. So cognitive illnesses such as, unfortunately, Alzheimer's, depression, memory loss, Parkinson's have been associated with low levels of DHA in the brain tissue. So marine phytoplanktons not only contain omega-3s, but phospholipids, which work with these essential fatty acids to nourish the brain and support proper neurotransmitter function. So there you have it. Number one is that these phytoplanktons are going to assist our brain health, our memory, our little powerhouse to get everything out there. And as business professionals, we know we want our brain to be on point, because if our brain is not on point, what have we got? Our ideas are not going to be coming out. Our plans are not going to be executed. Our projects aren't going to be completed. We're going to have brain fog. So this is where it's key that we ensure that our brain is as optimal as it can be at any given time. Number two, phytoplanktons help with detox. That's right. And there's two ways they help out with detox. Number one is, so what happens is, we looked at it, so phytoplanktons are high in L-arginine. There was a study that suggested that L-arginine treatment partially but significantly prevents liver injury in acute cholestasis by stimulating of INOS expression and nitric oxide synthesis. This is shown for the first time. So this study is saying that L-arginine, which is found in phytoplanktons, is a treatment to assist with liver injury. Individuals who don't have a proper liver function are unable to detox properly, okay? So for our detox to work on point, when liver needs to be on point. In addition to that, it's said that phytoplanktons is the best bioavailable source of superoxide dismutate, also known as SOD. And if you have had your gene test done, you might actually have a SNP in your SOD. So if you have a SNP in your SOD, this will be definitely something to talk about with your health professional, with the phytoplankton and the SNP in the SOD. So SOD is the body's most powerful antioxidant enzyme that plays a critical role in reducing oxidative damage and inflammation, and it's been shown to be effective in heavy metal detox as a heavy metal detox agent. So phytoplanktons helps out, has this SOD in it, which is absolutely amazing, which helps us with our detox, with our liver, because we are exposed every single day to chemicals. We're exposed to herbicides, pesticides, chemicals that we're unaware of, even food, even drinking, drugs, alcohol. Our liver has to detox that to be able to remove it out of our body, so we are able to live an optimal life. Number 3, you have immunity. Our immune system, your immune system, my immune system. So our immune system dysfunction leads to the development of allergies, autoimmune and chronic inflammatory diseases, even cancers. Inflammation has been suggested to be the root cause for things such as obesity, diabetes, even cancers, rheumatoid arthritis, neurodegenerative diseases, even autoimmune diseases. This is where we need to ensure that our immune system is on point. So the hallmark of autoimmunity is chronic inflammation that leads to the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines and other mediators known as danger-associated molecular patterns, also known as DAMPs, that activate pathogen recognition receptors expressed by the immune cells, right? This is what happens in our immune system if we have an autoimmune disease. The search for a novel immunomodulator is challenging. So several drug discoveries and development programs are focused on the search for bioactive compounds obtained from natural sources. So they're looking for natural sources to assist with autoimmune diseases, to assist with our immune system. The bioactivity of marine-derived natural product is significantly higher than that of the compounds found on land. This is what they found. So, for instance, the National Cancer Institute preclinical cytotoxicity screen. So what they're saying is that approximately 1% of the marine samples tested showed antitumor potential in comparison to 0.1% of land samples tested. That's a huge shift from 0.1 land to 1% in the marine. That's crazy. So what happened is in 2008, clinical studies performed at the University of Utah, research found that participants showed a significant increase in the number of antigen-fighting cells in their bodies and also reported feeling an overall positive increase in their physical and psychological well-being. This increase in antibodies makes it easier for the body to fight off infection and diseases. So this is showing that they found that by taking in our little marine phytoplankton, they found that it actually assists the immune system. And not only that, to lead into it, they found out that more marine tests that have been done are showing anti-tumor compared to land that they've taken. That land plants, that's mind-blowing, right? That's something definitely to keep an eye out and look at the research where it's going to go. Number 4 is cell regeneration. We all want cell regeneration to be on point to live an optimal life, to live a healthy life. So when we're young and healthy, the majority of our cells regenerate, right? They regenerate in a timely manner. When they go, it says regenerate, and they just go, bam, let's regenerate, let's live a healthy life, right? But the older that we get, the less effective and efficient this process becomes. So the older we get, the less we do our cell regeneration well, right? So a lack of proper cellular regeneration leads to many diseases that people develop later in life. So phytoplankton have a unique ability to strengthen cell membranes and induce cell regeneration. Make us young again. So supplementing with phytoplankton can strengthen cell membrane and trigger your body to regenerate current cells and create healthy new cells. But that is where the key is. We don't want our body regenerating disease-like cells. We want our body regenerating healthy cells. And this is where phytoplankton has the unique ability to strengthen the cell membranes and induce this cell regeneration. It's kind of like doing a clean out and being like, yes, this cell is amazing, keep this cell, double it. Okay, this cell is not so good, remove it. How amazing is that it's able to help out with cell regeneration? Number 5, I thought I'll chuck this one in here. It's for training, individuals who are training hard, pumping that iron at the gym, running that marathon, or just trying to be fit and working out every day. This is a small study, so it's not so significant compared to the other ones that I've spoken about, but I thought I'll put it in because it's very, very interesting and something that a lot of people wouldn't consider, taking phytoplankton to help with their training. So what they did is they had trained males and female subjects, and they were randomly divided into a placebo and into phytoplankton conditions for 14 days. So subjects were tested at baseline and then placed on an intensified-based resistance training protocol using multiple sets of volatile failure over the course of 5 days, and then retested 24 and 48 hours following. So they had males and females who were either given a placebo or they were given phytoplankton, right? So the phytoplankton, the supplementation that they were given, improves short-term recovery from short-term intensive training. So this is saying that it's helping out with recovery. And how many people do you know that are training that want better recovery? Because when better recovery means better gains, better recovery means better overall system. It just means better overall success in your training. So this is amazing. This is something to keep an eye out also. Do the research, find out if there's any other studies, or even, if you talk to your healthcare professional, give it a try. So now that I have spoken about phytoplankton, how amazing it is and what it does to the marine life and how much we need it, and then I've spoken about 5 ways that it can help you achieve optimal health. The key one being the brain. That's the one that keeps sticking on me, is the brain, what it can do to the brain, the immune system, the training. It's just the cell regeneration. It's just absolutely amazing, right? So what do you do now? Now people are like, oh my gosh, like, how do I include more of it in my diet? What do I do? How do I include more of it in my diet? Well, I have it here for you. Let's get into it. How to include phytoplankton in your diet. So what we need to understand first is that most phytoplankton or plankton produced do not come straight from the ocean, unfortunately or fortunately enough. You can look at it from both ways. You don't really want to mess with the marine cycle that's already happening there, but then at the same time, will it have the same nutrients? That's something to keep an eye out on, right? But they're grown in bioreactory facilities where they're efficiently produced in a controlled ocean-like environment for maximum purity. So the highest quality strains are so what they do is they get the high quality strains from the wild, from the marine, they get it, and then what they do is they cultivate them under conditions that makes them replicate in natural ocean-like conditions, right? So this is to ensure that they're free from pollutants and contaminants, right? So this is kind of what the process is of getting them. So they get the first initial one from the ocean, they put it into their little factory, and then they grow it to make sure that it comes from that strand in the ocean, right? So when buying or looking at buying plankton or phytoplankton, because it doesn't come from the ocean, please make sure that it is non-GMO, that it's not genetically modified, because you want it coming from the ocean and then them harvesting it and cultivating it in the right way, right? Because what they're trying to do is they're genetically modifying because they're trying to get the omega-3 to be even higher than the ocean one, because when you're looking at supplements, you see, high omega-3, you're going to grab that, aren't you? Without thinking, is that genetically modified? Where is this coming from? Right? And what I would ensure is it's highly important to get supplements from a reputable company that follows guidelines, strong guidelines, to avoid supplement containing the toxic producing species of plankton, right? Or one that has been harvested from toxic tamed waters. Remember how I spoke about before, how they do the algae blooms and the red tide? Well, we don't want that plankton in our body. We don't want that. Make sure that you ensure that the plankton that you're getting is not from those waters. So let's wrap it up. So I would suggest getting a liquid one that's non-GMO, raw, unprocessed, marine phytoplankton with absolutely no fillers. Pure as it can get, right? What you do is you put a few drops in your smoothie, there you have it. You have a marine smoothie to give you the energy, to give your brain health, your immune system, cell regeneration for the day. But be careful. If you're on any medication, first of all, talk to your healthcare professional. The key is, because phytoplankton is high in vitamin K, if you're on any thinning medication, this could be an issue. But before even taking any supplementation, talk to your healthcare professional. Before changing any of your lifestyle, your diet, talk to a healthcare professional to see that it suits you, that it's the right thing for you to take. All right, there you have it. Now you know what the superfood is that's found in the ocean that can even help human health, phytoplankton, right? You know how it can assist the human health, 5 health benefits it can assist you with. And now you know how to include it in your diet after talking to your healthcare professional and including it in your lifestyle to benefit other training, immunity, your brain health, cell regeneration, and so forth, right? There you have it. Phytoplankton, the newest superfood. Get onto it, do your research. If you have any questions, ask me, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. So do what you do best. Love, like, share, rate, share this episode with anyone that you know may want to know what the superfood is found in our ocean. Until next Monday, love you.